Well, here to discuss Hunter Biden and Biden's laptop specifically, and the revelations that were in Biden's laptop, because he put it all in a report called the Report on the Biden Laptop, is Garrett Ziegler. He joins us right now. So, Garrett, did you help light him on fire?
Thanks for having me on. No, I didn't. And just about every single sentence he just articulated to Jennifer was a lie. From the fact that he was obviously still in addiction when he dropped off the laptop in April of 2019. And that's almost the least important lie, basically, right? I mean, the amount of delusion that he has to go and say that he's not afraid to talk to anybody. Guys, let's start with his 7-year-old daughter in Arkansas, who he has never met in person. All of these discussions with all these different people, they're not interviews. They are discussions. Their main goal is entertainment. It's sort of, after he went on Candace Owens, I told my wife, this is Oprah for the right. Every Oprah show had an Oprah moment. Right? This is nothing more than an Oprah podcast tour. And if they went out and said, Jeannie, that it's about entertainment, then I could stomach it because they're being forthright about their motive and about what they're doing. But in a sophistry tactic, they're taking what's pure entertainment. Again, everything he's talking about, the laptop, what it revealed, how much money he made during his dad's presidency, all of that is a lie. And if you don't believe me, consider for just a moment that of all these individuals in this scandal, and I will call it probably the scandal of the decade, I was the only one deemed as an expert witness in a case against him. I was the expert witness for the mother of his child in Arkansas. And it's funny, he says he's not afraid to talk to anybody. He won't talk to me. He won't even get in the same room as me in a deposition. He wanted me to get on via Zoom. He can't even look at me. So, again, there's a big asterisk there when he says he's afraid of everybody. But I'll stop my monologue here. It's just
it's so
absolutely
great.
Laughable.
Well, you live in Illinois now. That's one of the reasons why you're living downstate.
I live in Effingham.
Okay.
Yes.
And didn't you move? Were you in Colorado for a while? Weren't you in hiding for a bit?
No. So that is the shop owner himself, whose name is John Paul MacIsaac.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. He lived in downtown Wilmington, knew of Hunter, didn't know him personally. And then after all this went down in October of 2020, there was dog feces and tomatoes thrown at his store. He had to close his store down. And then he went and lived with his uncle, who Jeannie and I both know, former colonel in the Air Force, who lives in Colorado. But Hunter, at every single stage of this, Hunter turns 57 in February. You would think that a 56-year-old would have a little bit of introspection and come clean. Guys, he's not admitting to anything. What he's doing is this, and I told Miranda Devine this in this op-ed she wrote 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago. He is employing a sophistry tactic whereby if he gets people to believe that he's candid about his drug use, they will then believe wrongly that he's being completely candid about the business dealings and the corruption. And that's what I'm interested in, right? Our book, the second and third sections of our book deal with the drugs and the sex, but that's not as important as what he was doing with all these foreigners.
Well, I mean, what do you think? We've got this new information coming out that President Trump has released in terms of what the Chinese have been doing in their influence operations. Is Hunter Biden, do you suspect he still has connections deep enough that he's getting paid off by them?
They're doing it through a classic Chinese tactic, which is don't pay the no. So for a while they were paying him directly, and then when scrutiny and attention came upon Hunter, they do what they do very well with American politicians, which is just pay their family, because the disclosure requirements and the way our law system is set up, sometimes the family doesn't have to just open the kimono and show what they're being paid. So in Hunter's example, what Hunter did with his 10% share of a Chinese private equity fund, and I put private in quotes, by the way, there's no such thing as a private anything in China. But with Hunter's fund called BHR, Hunter gave that 10% to his sugar brother and best friend in the world, Kevin Morris, who also sued me and lost. And, by the way, Jeannie, we got $60,000 back.
60,000 back so far.
That's not justice. It's 1/6 of the cost, but he was forced to reimburse our legal fees to the tune of $67,000.
Well, that's a win, at least to some degree. The fact that he was forced to give you something, it's an admission of their bogus lawsuit that they filed against you and then drug you into court and making you defend yourself.
Yeah, it's nuts. One of the claims that Morris again. So I shouldn't have. I didn't complete the story there. So
okay.
Morris holds the 10% of BHR. So Hunter can say, I don't own anything. All Hunter did was sell it at cost to his best friend in the world. So Kevin Morris, to the best of our knowledge, which is 6 weeks ago, so I'm pretty certain this is true, meaning I was just in litigation with him. I know these things. He owns 10% of a private equity fund in China that manages $2 billion at least. The assets under management is $2 billion. So if you look at the fees that fund is annually generating, Morris has the golden egg right now, and that's his best friend. So the Chinese absolutely did it. It was the classic case of back in 2017 when they really started paying Hunter. They started paying him in 2015. When they really started paying him, they went after the Bidens and they looked at the weakest link. You'll hear me describe the Chinese in a bunch of negative ways. You'll never hear me call them stupid. They did it to the T with Hunter. Find the drug addict, find the person who loves prostitutes, give him the money, and ingratiate yourself that way.
Yeah. Well, is there any discoveries from Hunter Biden's laptop that you think received too little media attention?
I think that what they did in Romania was equally as grotesque and felonious as what they did in Ukraine. There was a real estate oligarch named Gabriel Popoviciu, and Hunter was hired by him, made $1 million from this deal. And by the way, this deal required Hunter to send a few emails and make a few telephone calls. So the hourly or per minute rate that Hunter made was astronomical. But what they did was they pressured the U.S. ambassador, Hans Klim, this is under Obama, to try to get rid of the case against Popoviciu in his native Romania. So that shakedown, we put in 8 whole pages in our dossier. We go through Hans Klim, we go through who Gabriel Popoviciu is, and that was fully explained in the indictment of Hunter. Mm-hmm. When he pleaded guilty to tax evasion, the taxes that he was evading in the Central District of California were related to his work for that Romanian oligarch. So what I'm saying right now can be fact-checked by all your listeners by looking at that Central District of California indictment. And one more thing about Romania and getting indicted and pleading guilty. Remember, he pled guilty. It's not me saying Hunter's guilty. He admitted it. The thing that's so impressive in terms of the scale of the delusion, guys, is that if you were the recipient of the largest pardon in American history, don't you think you would buy $150,000 cabin in Montana and just disappear
Absolutely.
for like 2 decades?
Yep.
So why is he back?
Where's the shame? You received
The Bidens are
gift.
shameless.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that TV show should have been based off of them.
Yeah. Why is he back? What is he doing? Why does he want to be in the public light again?
2 things. Number one, what made him divorce his first wife, along with the infidelity, Kathleen Buell, who, by the way, is from South Chicago. She went to St. Ignatius, I think, for high school.
Oh,
so there's
sort of Mike Madigan. Great.
Yeah. Kathleen Buell, his first wife. One of the reasons he divorced her was she divorced him because of the infidelity and just how he is. But one of them is that she threw cold water on his political ambitions. He confided to her, and this is in his half-fictional memoir even, that he wanted to run for Congress. And this was right after his brother died, and she just laughed at him. And that laugh...
Is Jeannie's laughing at him right now?
Yeah, that killed him. The best way to make a man feel 2 feet tall is to have his wife shoot his dreams down. And she was like, Hunter, you just got kicked out of the Navy for cocaine. What are you thinking?
Well,
so that... In fact, if you go to his half-fictional memoir, he says that after that car ride home, when she did that, they never connected again. He moved out 2 weeks later. So the answer to your question is he's always wanted this in the back of his mind, and people. So I did disagree with Ms. Jacobson just one small bit, which is I don't think he has any presidential ambitions, but I definitely think that he has congressional ambitions. And people always laugh this off. I say, go to Malibu. There are some crazy people in this country. He can definitely get elected to Congress in Malibu.
Yeah, but while he was, when he was sober, you guys, he said this, and if he ever runs for office, we're going to blow this out of the water. I mean, Jeannie, you and I, we should be doing shots of crack.
Does crack cocaine make you act any differently? No. Is it safer than alcohol? Probably. People think of crack as being dirty. It's the exact opposite. When you make crack, what you're doing is you're burning off all the impurities so that it combines with the sodium bicarbonate, which makes it smokable. That's all.
How grotesque. I mean, he's encouraging
thought a lot about
American kids and adults like, hey, try crack. I did it. You're fine. But once you do crack, you never go back. We always say that. But crack isn't just for homeless people. A lot of rich people, wealthy people do crack. And it's illegal for a reason, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is, even most of the libertarians realize that heroin, you can't have this stuff in your society, because even from a libertarian sort of lizard brain perspective, they are so costly to rehabilitate these people. This isn't, your high school brother smoking a joint once. This is what it does to your neurons. In fact, he did another interview with this guy named Vlad, who's this grimy LA interviewer of celebrities. And during a single skit, guys, he said the word, like a 5-minute skit, he said the word 147 times. Now, I'm not making fun of him for that. His dad had a stutter. But what I am saying is that Hunter did so much crack cocaine that his neurons are shot. Mm-hmm. The fact that he can even, the one thing that does impress me is that he can even speak publicly in a semi-coherent manner, because somebody who does that much crack or meth, they are a vegetable of their former selves. And that's what makes family members cry, right? Because it's just throwing away all those good years. I mean, you destroy your own brain in a way.
Yeah, well, you know what? He'd fit right in with the Democrat socialist. And in fact, on that, this is just too much fun of an interview. We're not going to stop yet. Here's what he said about Mandani.
That is the Rahm Emanuel, David Axelrod kind of wing of the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. These people that claim to have gotten Barack Obama elected, which they didn't. They were on a campaign. They were important.
A dead pig could have gotten Barack Obama elected.
Exactly. And they are, they look at people like Zoran Mamdani and they go, oh my God, it's the end of the Democratic Party. I look at Zoran Mamdani and I go, there's a leader.
I completely agree.
Every single thing that they talked about, it was, people are going to flee the city and they're going to go crazy. And, it's the worst thing that could ever happen. And the Democratic Party is going to be tagged with, this Muslim, blah, 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 blah. And here he is. And he made promises. And you know what he did? He kept them.
Yeah.
He kept them. Mm-hmm. He's lowering rent. He's building.
Whatever, going on and on.
Stores.
But I mean, hey, he could run for Congress. Given the
he can absolutely run for Congress. There's a D plus 30 section of California that is a total nut job. And the reason why I bring this up, guys, is not just to wax about what I think he's planning to do in politics. It's that he's in so much debt from Winston & Strawn, another Chicago-based firm, I might add. Uh-huh. Winston & Strawn is suing him for $17 million. Good. And if he gets elected to Congress, he can for a while stave off those creditors and get on a payment plan. I'm not kidding. If they know that he's making $1.74 a year, their ability to collect on him will be greatly diminished. Now it's a black box. He's in private life. He's selling his doodles for $54,000 a piece still.
It's blow art.
And they don't know how much.
And I tried it.
Yeah.
Because how much was it? What's the most money you ever got for one of those blow art pieces that he did?
So I can't say the exact figure because it's under a protective order in the child support case, but it's been publicly, so I know the exact figure, but the New York Post story is public, and they said he's made at least $95,000 on one painting, but he was trying to sell them for $500,000. That's the Biden white trash angle to this.
That's so great. And you know what? Another thing about recognizing Navy as their granddaughter. Remember when the Bidens came out and they just made this statement, we will recognize Navy as our grandchild. And that Christmas, they didn't put up a stocking for Navy. They put up the 6 other stockings for their other grandkids. Have they ever acknowledged her to the best of your knowledge?
No, they've only given a single line statement to people. And guess what? Jill Biden, the lovely Jill, she complained about me in her memoir, by the way, that was released last month.
Oh, what'd she say?
That's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
I can send you the link. She said that I was tormenting her family by releasing the contents of Hunter's laptop and Ashley's therapy journal. Again, all I noticed that they call me every name in the book, but they don't call me a liar. They didn't say this Garrett scoundrel is injecting fake stuff. No. They just say that I'm mean to them. These are children. That's what my 4-year-old says if I do something he doesn't like. You're being mean, right? Like, this is not an adult conversation.
Well, and one question people want to know if it's fake news or not. Did Joe Biden take a shower with his daughter Ashley when she was a young teen?
According to his daughter, he did. That's how I always answer, meaning I can't teleport back to that Greenville suburban house outside of Wilmington and know, but I just take his daughter's word for it. And remember, we didn't go traipsing through a 12-year-old's desk. Ashley wrote this thing at 37 during rehab. It was a rehab journal. So she said herself that he did. And the exact quote was, "Fathers with my shower, parentheses, probably not appropriate," into parentheses. So his own daughter said that he took probably not appropriate showers with her. Again, not my words. If you have a dispute with it, go take it up with Ashley. I mean, these people are sick.
Yeah, they are.
Dan calls them hillbillies. The hillbillies of
They're
Delaware.
worse than that.
Everybody in
They're
Delaware
worse than
thinks that.
They're just awful. Okay, Garrett, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about this.
Thanks
and
for
give us the update. You're so entertaining.
Can I say one more thing?
Oh, yes.
Of course.
Yes.
One more thing. So the memoir that I alluded to by Jill came out June 2nd. She didn't even acknowledge Navy in that. During her dedication, she said to her 6 grandchildren, she has 7. So they didn't even, meaning after the People's Statement, she said in the dedication, she didn't mention Navy in the dedication, even after they settled, which was, by the way, against my recommendation. And now she opened the case against him again. The baby mama who doesn't like me, who thinks I'm a little bit too acidic, she didn't take my advice, and now she has to sue him again. So I was, I don't want to say I told you so because there's a kid involved, but basically she's trying to get money again that he's not paying.
Well, good luck getting that, especially if he owes his law firm $17 million.
Yeah, Winston and Strawn already put a lien on that judgment he got against Patrick Byrne. It was hilarious.
Honestly, why'd they even defend him? Why'd they even go into business with this guy? What the hell? They have no scruples. No scruples here.
Yeah, no, it's you said it perfectly. I posted on Twitter, I said both sides are despicable. I hope both that Hunter gets pursued to the ends of the earth, and I hope Winston loses millions.
All they do is make money, and they do nothing to change the direction of the state. Nothing. They're in for the money. All right, we got to leave it right there. We appreciate you
back.
So much.
We could talk to him for 4 hours.
Absolutely. Garrett Ziegler, you can go to his website, marcopolo501c3.org, and go ahead and order a Biden laptop book just for, it's good on your coffee table. Great conversation starter. All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks for the opportunity to talk.
You bet.